Hi guys, welcome to tonight's call. I'm Angel Mitta. For those of you guys who don't know me, let me just give you a little background on me, although Julie did a pretty good job on that little announcement that she made about the call that I was doing. So I'm Angel. I've been a coach for almost 4 years now. Actually, wait, before I get into this, let me just also say, for those of you who haven't checked, the health bet finished, obviously, and there were like 100,000 people that actually finished altogether, and I think everybody got like, what was it, like $16.81, something like that. So for all of you coaches who had customers that finished it, let them know, and for us, make sure that I'm sure most of you have your direct deposit set up, but you'll be paid the exact same way that you get paid your Beachbody check. Okay, that's all I wanted to say about that. All right, so I'm Angel. I've been a coach for almost 4 years. I want to say like in April I'll be a coach for 4 years. And I am a mom of 2. My son is almost 4. My daughter's 2, actually. And I have come a very long way with who I was when I started coaching to who I am now. And that is why tonight's topic is going to be sharing your story, because I've been through quite a bit and I've learned quite a bit about how to share, not only to connect with people, but also just to be genuine to yourself. So I first of all, I'm a lifetime 2-star, something like that. I have earned NLC. So for those of you guys who don't know what NLC is, it's the New Leader Conference. You have to achieve 2-star rank by a certain time of the year and achieve a certain number of elite points in order to qualify for it for the following year. So I've definitely made some advancements in my business, and it's because of how much I've grown and how much I've shared. Because as we all know, people can buy Beachbody products, they can buy a workout program, they can buy a supplement, they can do any of this stuff any other way, but the whole reason that we will advance our businesses, the whole reason that we will reach people is because of who we are and what we share. So I actually am going to have a ton of examples for you guys tonight, and I won't be able to have them up an incredibly long period of time, and I tend to write a lot, so I will be more than happy to share the links to the actual posts that I'm referring to. But I really this is something that I've talked about on another call earlier in the year. And the reason that I talked about it then is because so I don't have any notes. This is how I always do it. So forgive me if I bounce around a lot, but that's who I am. So get over it. So I was an Army wife. That's when I started coaching. My now ex-husband, soon to be, he was in the Army, and we had our son. Basically, I signed up to coach because my best friend begged me to. She actually it was a favor to her. I had absolutely no interest in coaching, so I didn't really take coaching seriously for a good year. And I didn't start taking it seriously until my ex told me that he was going to be leaving the military. So when he was going to be getting out of the Army, I realized I was pregnant with my daughter, and I realized if I didn't make coaching work, I was going to have to go back to work. So I started to work. And in doing so, I started to work on myself. And as we know as coaches, personal development is so huge, and that's what really led me into a lot of life changes that happened since then. So I started working the business, and I was doing everything exactly how I thought it needed to be. I was running groups, I was reaching out to people, I was inviting, I was doing all the things that we are told to do every single day, including personal development. And over time, I mean, I had built my business up. By the time we moved back to New York, I'm from the Buffalo area, but I was living in Texas at the time that I really started to grow my business. And so by the time we moved back to New York, I had advanced my business quite a bit to where I was matching my ex's income, and I started going through a lot of shifts in my marriage. And I started doing that, I think. I mean, there were plenty of personal reasons, but a lot of the a huge part of it was because I started growing because of personal development. And at the time, when I would share my story, when I would share who I was, I didn't feel genuine about it. I feel like a lot of us coaches, because I know I was like this, we feel like we have to be a certain way. We can't do things or say things because we're afraid of offending somebody, and then they won't buy a challenge pack from us. And it's just something, it's a fear that we all have. It's a fear of putting our actual full selves out there for people to understand who we are, because if we're doing that, we're exposing ourselves, and what if we get rejected? It's a very scary process, sharing your story and being honest. So I remember I had started vlogging. It's video blogging. It was way before we had live video on Facebook, because obviously that's kind of a newer feature. So I would record YouTube videos, and that was the start. I want to say this was in early 2015, I started doing this. And I started talking openly because, like I said, I'm a mom. I was an army wife. I'm a freaking hippie, guys. I honestly, I kind of changed so much from being a mom and being a wife in an army town. I had to completely. It was like I was smothering who I was, basically. And in doing so, I kind of lost who I was. So this whole sharing my story was like a journey back to myself, back to understanding who I was. And so at the time, I mean, for anybody who follows me now, I swear all the freaking time. My hair is oftentimes strange colors. I put it all out there. I'm incredibly honest. And the person who I was back then was not like that. I was very scared to swear. I almost never swore. I didn't share about a lot of the struggles that I had because I felt like I needed to be perfect, because who was going to follow somebody, who was going to trust somebody that was struggling? And I had a lot of struggles back then, emotionally, mentally, with my marriage. It was a lot of turmoil going on in my head. And so I started vlogging, like I said, and I remember this one specific video that I came out with, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I was like, I am not this positive thinking robot. I was like, I fucking swear, guys. I just need to put that out there. I say it all the time. I was like, I have shitty days. I have days that I don't feel like working out. I have days that I just want to drink wine all freaking day long. I can't do this anymore. I can't smother myself into this perfect little box of this person who I think that I need to be, because I need to be who I am. And something amazing happened when I did that. And what changed was that I noticed, first of all, people started being more open with who they were. I started attracting people that were like me, which is a pretty awesome thing, because I was attracting people who were not like me before. Therefore, we didn't really work all that well together. So when you're starting to be yourself, when you're starting to be honest, when you're starting to share your story, you're going to attract those people to you that you actually work well with, which is kind of important, because really the whole reason that we do this is to work with people that we get along with, to help people. And there are not going to be people, there's going to be a lot of people that would have come to you if you were like somebody else. But the thing is we are who we are, and we are going to attract the people that actually have a connection to us, and they only feel that connection to us by connecting to our stories. So I just kind of wanted to like share that background, because I have not always been so open and honest. I have, at this point in my life, and this point in my coaching career, I share everything. When I feel something, I share it. When I feel down, I share it. When I want to drink wine in the middle of the day, I share it. When my kids are being an asshole, I share it. Like, those are the kinds of things that people relate to. It's because other people feel it too. It's just some people don't really feel comfortable saying it, and it's because they don't do personal development. But really, it's when you start sharing exactly what you're feeling, you're going to attract, you're going to inspire other people. And that's the whole point of coaching. We are here to inspire other people to get up and change their lives. And we cannot help somebody change their lives if we are not being open and honest about our own lives. So I'm going to share some of the posts that I make, because I know there's a lot of there's a lot of people who have differences in how they post. So there's some people that say you shouldn't really post a lot of text. There are other people that say the exact opposite. I am totally the exact opposite. I write novels, basically. And it's because I have a lot to say. I have a lot to share. You can't just, yes, a picture says 1,000 words, right? Whatever. But really, it doesn't. There's sometimes when you just take a selfie and it's just a selfie unless you put some thought behind it. And that's why I personally think it's incredibly important to really put thought behind your post, really put some emotion. You have to put emotion into your post, because otherwise everybody's just going to scroll past it. They're not going to relate to it, because it's just going to be another selfie on Facebook. But if you say, like I said, I'm going to show you some examples now, but if there is something in the text, in the copy, that is what that one person scrolling is going to all of a sudden connect with and be like, that's totally me. I totally connect with that person because they feel the exact same way that I do. Whatever you say could resonate with another person, and that would be the deciding factor between somebody going to you or somebody ordering from Beachbody.com or somebody going to a different coach in general. So, like I said, I'm going to screen share really quick, and I'm not going to be able to stay on these too long just because, like I said, I write novels. So if anybody's interested in actually seeing the post, just let me know. All right. So, I kind of just went back through a couple of my posts on my like page. I actually tried to find the posts that I announced my divorce with, but it was like months and months and months and months ago. So I'm a big fan. I'm very open and honest about everything in my life. I put it all out there. And to be honest, I was a party girl. I drank a lot of alcohol. I did a lot of stupid shit I shouldn't have done, but it's part of my past. It's part of my story. Therefore, I share it. And I like to put graphics like this right here is a before and after. I hope you guys can see this, by the way. So this is from 2006, 2016. Obviously, you can see that. And let's just say in this text, in 2006, I was fresh into college. I went from this super good girl to a party girl. I drank every day, smoked, did a lot of other stupid shit. See, there's me swearing again. I don't hold back on my posts. So if you go through this, I talk about how I was so unhappy, how I had absolutely no idea who I was, and I had no idea how to cope with that other than putting out something else into my body to numb those feelings. I cannot tell you how many people reach out to me after I do posts like these, because this is stuff that people relate to. And it's not going to be something that everybody relates to, and not everybody did the things that I did. But the people that did, the people that made progress with their lives, those are the people that have reached out to me. Or even sometimes people just reach out after I share something and just say, thank you for sharing that. You are so inspirational. Even if I don't sell a challenge pack from it, it doesn't matter. The whole point of sharing your story is to reach people and to inspire them. So here's this one. Let's see here. This is from my classic competition that I did this past year. I've done it twice now, and I'm not doing it again. So this one, I talked about how I did my first Beachbody Classic competition the previous year and how it was a huge step outside of my comfort zone. I talked about how I was stressed. I worked myself too hard in my workouts. I talked about how I wasn't going to do the competition, but I still did it anyways. And it's basically, I mean, like I said, I try to write to where I tell my story, but I also want my reader to relate to it somehow, even though not a lot of people have done competitions, you know, like that's not going to be the thing that they relate to. So at the end, I said, when life knocks you down in one way, you have the choice to stay down or get back up and find a way that will work for you. Did I come here having the exact results I wanted? No, but I came here giving it my best shot, and I felt damn proud of myself for how far I've come. At the end, believe in yourself, because you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to, especially if you have a strong support system backing you up. So this is the kind of thing where a lot of the time when I share my story, I breadcrumb coaching, I breadcrumb the challenge groups, because it's not like I'm just trying to throw it in there to throw it in. It's because literally this is the stuff that has changed my life. So why would I not share it? You know, if I can help other people by bringing them into the same system that I was in, that's the point of coaching. That is the point of sharing your story. And believe me, when you are being genuine and when you are being honest, it's going to be so much better received, and people are going to want to join because it's real. It's real life, and you're talking from your heart. All right, so here's another one. This is just me and my son. So this is one where I talked about how I'm a single mom now, and I fell deep into the this shit is hard mindset. And I know, and this is another one where I said, and I know I'm not alone with falling into that sometimes, right? So I'm literally talking directly to other single moms in this, and other moms in general. So being a mama or a mom is hard in general, you know this, and being a single mom, everything begins and ends with me. There's no one to pick up the slack when taking care of the kids, the house, the bills, or my sanity. I knew that when I left my marriage, it wouldn't be easy. Like I said, this is, I don't hold back. This is what I really, and I know I'm like going to repeat myself a lot in this, but I talk about how I'm feeling. I talk about not just how I'm feeling and throwing it out there in a woe is me sense. A lot of the times I don't like to post unless I feel better about what my situation is, until I have felt like I have at least overcome it in some sort of way to where I feel grateful or where I feel okay and not angry or upset when I'm posting, because what your emotion when you post, it comes through, whether you think it does or not. So in this specific post, I talked about in the beginning how I felt like I just couldn't do it. And then how I told myself I was not going to get out of bed until I named off 5 things I was grateful for. And here's at the end. So here's to a new day, a new mindset for both you and I. I think this whole waking up with gratitude thing has something to it. So let me ask you, what are you grateful for? So like I said, I share my story. I talk about how I'm overcoming things, and I relate it back to the person that's reading it, because that's kind of the point. You want to reach people. You want to inspire them. You want to help something click for them. And this actual post I got a lot of response from, with people telling me things that they were grateful for. And I do these kind of things in like live videos too. I don't just post text. So here I talked about, I mean, like I shared my whole life. How many times do I have to say that? I talked about, I'm still going through a divorce. And I talked a little bit about my relationship with him. And then I started talking about dating, which is very out of my comfort zone for me. And I talked about how I've dated a few guys, not seriously, blah, blah, blah. But basically, I talked about how the Angel today, how my dating experience is so different now than it used to be because of how I have changed. So I talked about how I see my worth, that I don't need another person to feel whole and happy, that happiness comes from inside yourself. And this is another one where, I mean, like on my like page, I'm pretty sure this one had, 62 likes, which I know that doesn't seem like very much for some of you on your personal pages, but on a like page, it's like a what post. There was a lot of people that really took this to heart. And, you know, like I got a lot of response from other women who had went through a divorce and started the dating process again. And basically they showed me support for me being honest. This is another one where I talked about my divorce, which I share about these types of things, but there's a difference between sharing and bitching. And it's because, you know, this is why you really kind of want to think out these types of posts, because you don't want to, you want to be honest, you want to share what you're feeling, and you want to help other people connect to that, but you also don't want to, you know, just have the woe is me mindset. You don't want to be offending people to the point where it's not actually helping by sharing it. So, you know, with tricky subjects like that, you do want to make sure that you read over what you're writing a few times to make sure that you can stay true to that. So this specific post, I literally talked about meeting my ex-husband, how I tried to make my marriage work, how I felt through my, you know, through my marriage, through my divorce, that I learned, you know, we can't control anyone other than ourselves and our own actions. And here's where I connected it to people. I said, I know this post seems so out of the blue, but what I'm trying to tell you out there, to anyone that maybe has went through a similar situation, or maybe something equally or completely different but equally as hard, don't get jaded. Don't think that you fail, or just because you fail that you're a failure. You have every right to be happy, and you should never give up on improving your life. Even if all you see is darkness right now, never stop looking for the light, because if you keep looking, I promise you'll find it. So this, a lot of the times with these kind of posts, what I do, I think actually what I did with this specific post is I took the picture, and let me say this too, is selfies are like, if I would have posted this with like a quote picture, I guarantee it would not have gotten as much traction. When you post pictures of yourself, your posts get so many more views. They're so much better received. I don't know why, to be honest. But that's something that I've definitely noticed. So when you are sharing your story, I really suggest taking pictures of yourself and sharing it that way. So there's that one. Let's see here. This one is where I talked about how health is more than weight loss, how I have, what did I say here? This is basically me talking about like how I've changed and how my lifestyle has changed, how I've been told so many times that I've blossomed in the last 8 months because of my divorce. I said, once I was able to disconnect myself from toxicity and totally focus on being healthy and happy in a multitude of ways, I think my soul started shining from the inside out. So this is me relating just my actual life, how I feel, my emotions, to something that so many other people struggle with, which is weight, and how they look at health. And so many other people think that health is specifically weight related. And here I was saying, stop looking at your weight as being the only thing that needs to change. You need to change your mentality, and you need to work through your emotional health in order to see a real change. And I can guarantee that you, not only will you see it, that others will see it, and more importantly, you will feel it. You'll start to feel happy and free. So like on a lot of these posts, I'm not saying, hey, join me on coaching. Hey, join a challenge group. I'm literally just sharing my story, sharing how I feel. And these are the types of posts I guarantee that, like, you guys don't just want to focus on selling. You want to focus on sharing your story, because this is the stuff that people connect with, that's why they end up messaging you, because they're going to remember, somebody would remember this post than a random challenge group post. And but maybe down the line, because they read this post, because they connected to something in this post, when they see a challenge group post or when they see a call to action for coaching, that's when they would message me about that. And to be completely honest, a lot of these people just message me and talk to me about their own lives, and I start to build that relationship with them, because this is a relationship building business. This is the stuff that really opens up really open and honest communication, which that's where you can start building trust and relationships from. Let's see here. Uh-oh. I don't know what happened. No, hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here's my hair. So this is one where I literally talked about coaching. And this is me sharing not only my story, but this is talking about how, coaching is related. Because let me tell you guys, it's okay to talk about coaching. It's okay to talk about challenge groups. You just don't only want to talk about that kind of stuff. And when you can post something that's actually sharing your story, sharing something that you went through, sharing something exciting, especially with the other posts, like the ones that I showed you, this is going to make somebody who's reading, that's been following you for a while, really excited for you when they see this, and really excited that maybe they can do it too, because they related to something in one of your previous posts. All right, here's another, real life vulnerable, fuck this noise post. So this is where I talked about how I don't normally focus on my weight, how I've severely slacked on my meal planning, my meal prepping. This is literally me saying, like, I fucked up, guys. Where I just, I screwed up, I gained weight. Normally I don't focus on that, but I talked about how this is the reality of it, and how I wasn't okay with it. And I think down in this post, I talked about my game plan to help get me back on track. So it's me talking about, oh shit, I fucked up, to this is how I can start to get back on track. So a lot of people are going to relate to that, oh shit, I fucked up post, that part of it, because a lot of people have that thought on a daily basis. And this, like, literally tells them, this is what I'm going to do. And like I said at the bottom of this, if any of this related to you and how you are feeling, never hesitate to reach out to me. We can do this together. So this was me sharing my story, me sharing how I was going to fix it, and an actual call out. So I mix up a lot of posts. And like I said, it's the selfies. I don't understand, but that's what works. So this one was actually me sharing my, like, legit story. So a lot of the times with my posts, I will breadcrumb and I will just talk about one specific part. But this specific post, and it's okay to do these too, where I talked about a lot of different facets from my story, but I didn't talk about them in like crazy detail like I would in a different post where I would go into detail about just one specific thing. So this is like me talking about how when I was in college, I gained freshman 30, and then how I started to get healthier, and then I got pregnant, and then after I had Jackson, that's when I started coaching, and how I talk about objections a lot, and I talk about my previous objections and how they relate to me. So in this one, I said I thought Shakeology was an overpriced protein shake. Needless to say, I had my head up my ass. So a lot of people relate to that kind of stuff because a lot of people have those kind of thoughts too. So, like, I mean, you guys can tell this is a long post. And this one actually was, at the end of it, I said, honestly, these changes are all because of these groups, the program, Shakeology, bettering my nutrition, the community, everything. My entire life has changed. My physical appearance is different. My mental state is worlds different, and I'm happy. That's what I'm offering you guys. This is your chance to start writing your own story. So this is where I shared a bunch of my story, and I did a call out with it. This is one just from the other day, actually. I have shared a lot about the fact that I have seasonal affective disorder, which is a form of depression. I've suffered from it since I was like 12. And I've shared plenty of times about how I feel going through it when I have really bad days. I tend to not post as much, but I try to post at night saying, hey, I'm alive, I'm here, I'm just having a bad day, or I'm having a difficult day, but I know tomorrow will be better. So like I said, when I share these kind of things, I want to make sure that I have something positive to say along with it. So with this one, I talked about how, that warm, fuzzy feeling you get when your heart feels happy. I feel that right now with my little girl sitting on my lap, snuggled under a blanket and watching one of my favorite childhood movies. I talked about how I've had so many ups and downs emotionally. I've always suffered from SAD, which I've talked about. So whenever the seasons start to change, my emotions get a little out of whack. So this is something that people relate to because there's a lot of people with seasonal affective disorder. There's a lot of people that suffer from emotional ups and downs, that they can relate to the kind of feelings that I have. And they can see that even though I'm a coach, even though I inspire people, even though I do this kind of stuff every single day, that I'm not always perfect. And I'm not always okay. And they can see that because I am like that they can still do what I do, even if they have these difficulties. And it gives them that ray of hope that they can get through it if I can too. All right, so I think that's all of the examples that I had for you guys. Let me see what's going on over in this chat box over here. All right, so you are not alone. My kids can be assholes too. And it makes me want to drink in the middle of the day. Yep, all the time. Yeah, Shannon, you totally have to just be relatable. I mean, like, this is the whole point of sharing your story, is because that's what people are going to relate to. It's to be relatable. And to be completely honest, it makes you feel so much better to just be honest and be open and be real with people, because it's like almost like therapy, to be honest. It's like almost like therapy to talk about how you're feeling, to share it, to put it out there. And let me just say, you do not have to talk about every single detail of your lives. When I was going through my divorce, most people didn't know that I was going through it. They just knew that I was going through something difficult. I didn't come out and say, hey, I'm getting divorced, until March, I think, and my ex and I split in December. So I talked about that I just couldn't, I was having a bad day. Like, there were so many days where I would literally not post all day long, except for at the end of the day. And a lot of the times I would put a picture of me, or I would put like a quote, an inspirational quote, and then I would put some text behind it talking about, this is my reality right now. I feel like shit. I don't want to get out of bed. I want to bury my head in the sand. But I know that I will get through it. So that's why I'm saying, like, you don't just ever want to post to bitch and be negative, because people are going to see that. I can tell you guys, when I see other coaches post bullshit about how their lives suck, I'm like, what are you guys doing? How are you going to inspire somebody to better their lives if you are a shit show yourself? Because, okay, let me just say, we're all kind of shit shows sometimes, but it's that we pick ourselves back up, that we can do this stuff, we can help ourselves to feel better. And that's why somebody is going to be like, I trust that girl, I trust that guy to actually help get me through this slump that I'm in, to help me change my life, because that person changed their lives. They didn't just lay down and stay down. They fell down, but they got back up, and that's why I want them to help me do the same. All right, let me see here. Those legs though, Andrea. I love you. Thank you. I needed to hear this. Share it from your heart and relay it back. And yeah, ending a post with a question is always a very good thing, because that gets people engaged, that gets people talking on your posts. Me and my daughter have the same eye color. Oh, thank you. You're proof that you can look better after kids. Thanks. All right, let's see here. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, there is one. If you have any questions, feel free to type them. But I just wanted to say, a lot of the times there's a feature on your phone that you can actually, like hold, it's like talk to text. And that's what I do with a lot of my posts, is I will literally speak directly into my phone, because it's my actual words rather than me trying to sound all proper. It's the actual verbiage that I use, and a lot of the times that's what helps people connect. That's what makes my posts even more real, is because it's me actually talking like I'm talking directly to a person, because I'm talking directly to my phone. But let me just say with that, definitely go back and check what talk to text said, because a lot of the times, I swear to God, I must have like an accent, because it picks up the weirdest words. All right. I don't see any questions. Do you guys have anything else? I hope this kind of shed some light on really sharing honestly and share like brutally honest. Like I said, this is going to help you guys become a better person. This is going to help you feel better on a regular basis. It's going to help attract people to you that are relating to you, which means that you will work better with them, because you have something to talk about, because you have something in common with them. And those are the types of people that we want to reach. We don't need to reach everybody. We don't need to work with everybody, because all of us have different personalities. All of us have different stories. All of us have different lives. And you sharing your life, that's what's going to help that one person that needs to hear it connect to you, which can help you connect to them, which can help you change their lives. So I don't think there's any more questions, so I'm not going to keep you guys on any longer. I hope you have a fantastic Tuesday night, and I will get this recording up as soon as possible. Bye!